Hold on to your butt!
I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. Welcome to the inštitút.
Zdravím vás, gamery! Vážení vodveleri, vítajte v 42. epizóde našich potuliek povzdá popustenou. Naposledy sme išli po stopách od Kelloga, našli sme Virgila, ako aj spôsob, ako sa dostať do inštitútu. A medzi touto a poslednou epizódou som stával. Pozrite na tú krásku. Všetko je pripravené. Nežiadal som o pomoc bratstvu ocele, ani železnicu, trošku som vystúžil obranu, pár vežičkami a vlastne by celkovo boli tu spokojnejší. Niku, ideme teda na to, aj keď myslím si, že toto bude one man show, že spoločník s nami nepôjde. Ale poďme na to, poďme oddaliť jedno z najväčších mystérií Commonwealthu. Sturgesi?
Everything looks good on my end. You ready to see if this thing actually works?
Let's do this.
You sure? Okay. Your part is simple. Just step onto the platform. I'll start scanning for an institute signal to lock onto. Then, I fire her up and we see what happens.
No výborne. Takže dal som sem ozaj fúzny generátor, lebo prečo nie? A no, poďme na to. Veľmi kľúčový moment. Poďme.
Real still. I don't want any corruption of the molecular beam. Oh yeah, by the way, I figured this was a golden opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute and what they're up to. Yeah, this holotape's all set with a program that will scan their network and download anything it finds. Uh-oh. Yeah, we better hurry. And don't worry about that tubing wiggling around. It's, just there for decoration. Okay. Scanning for the Institute signal. Tracking RF. And... got it. Hold on to your butt.
Našťastie mám zapevnenú helmu. Sme tady. Niekde a vyzerá to pokročilo. A ako vidíte, sme tu aj sami. Sme tu doslova sami. Takže, v prvom rade dáme si úroveň. Mali by sme mať všetku našu výzbroj pre každý prípad. No jo. Počkaj, teraz taká štenica, dobre. Ale nemáme žiadnu ďalšiu úlohu. Ja si to pre istotu aj preuložím. Poďme na to. Aké čisté, pekné. Krásnučké, čistunké. Že? Dobre. Terminál počítača. Seznam prístupu. Signál presmerovaný. To je vtipné. Počkať, ja tam musím vložiť holopásku? To je ono. Sieťový skener, to by malo byť ono? Dobre. To by sme teda mali. Aha. A vysunieme. To teda je pre Sturgesa a pre Minutemenov. Hello there.
I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I'm known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator.
Dá sa, že sme tu vítaní, čo? Takže do výťahu. Nie žiadna ochranka, žiadny lovci alebo čo by povedal niekto, že by okamžite pre každý príklad si pripravme revolver. Aha, ja nemám žiadny prístup. Tak, a teraz, ak sa nemýlim, bude veľmi pekný Výhľad.
What you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute.
No jo.
This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground.
There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
No jo. Veľmi osobný dôvod. Asi. A? Videli sme teda už niečo z toho areálu. Chalan, ktorého sme už videli, že? Viete čo, aby to bolo také atmosférickejšie, ako také roleplayovanie trošku, ako je si dal dole tú helmu a dal akože za opaskom, dobre? Ja si to tu uložíme, inštitút.
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Sean? Is that really you?
Who are you?
Sean, it's me. I'm your dad.
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Sean, are you okay? You're not hurt, are you?
What's going on? Father? Father!
Shh. It'll be okay, Sean. I'm here
I
now.
don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here, help me!
Who is Father? Where is he?
Father? Father, help me! He's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus.
Aye.
But disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Father? That's your name? Your title?
Father is my unofficial title. It's what I've come to mean to the people of the Institute, just as you mean to your son, to Sean.
I'll make this very simple. Where is my son?
He's here, in the Institute. Closer than you think. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been... It's good to finally meet you. After all this time. It's me. I am, Sean. I am.
Ajaj.
Your son.
How is that even possible?
I know this is a lot to take in. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality.
Ajaj.
Here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
But why? Why take a child? Why take you?
Ah, now that's the question, isn't it? Why me? At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
I think I see where this is going.
Then perhaps you already understand why it was necessary for the Institute to acquire me. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course, but it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
And you've been down here the whole time?
I have. Yes. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
Your mother. She never got to see you grow up?
Yes. What happened to her was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems her death was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage.
Collateral damage? Is that all she was to you?
I forget that it's been such a short time for you. I don't have any direct memories. And I've had my entire life to cope with the loss. Has it always been easy? Of course not. But I've done my best to move on and live my life. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
Would you have preferred that I turned him loose on the Commonwealth? At least keeping him on a short leash kept the collateral damage to...
To je pravda.
The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
So you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
But, Director? Why you?
I was the most qualified for the position, obviously. I've lived my life within these walls, dedicated to science like every other member of the Institute. My hard work has paid off. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. I know there's more for us to discuss. But the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
You want me to stay here? In the Institute?
Yes, that is what I propose. Is it so hard to imagine? The Institute can provide a better life than anything above ground. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like. I assure you that you are better off with us.
How can you say that? How can you be so dismissive of all those people? Everything they've done?
Because it is the simple truth. And I believe you know it too. I simply ask that you give the Institute, me, a chance. A chance to show you what I've been telling you. We really do have humanity's best interest at heart. Will you take that chance?
Are you sure you want this?
Yes, I am. It would benefit us both to work together.
I just don't know.
Just give it time. Give the Institute a chance. The Institute is now your home as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in Facilities, Dr. Ayo in SRB, Dr. Holdren in Bioscience, and finally Dr. Lee in Advanced Systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then we'll discuss what comes next.
Tak sa ideme porozprávať, čo poviete? Pozrite na tie fešné zariadenia. Taťu do jeden. Ako toto aj na skôr zatvorili, aby ste nemali problémy. Wow. Jupidi, jupidi, jupidi. No, aj takto. To som mohol. Aké súkromné bývaničko má.
Almost done. Just need to tighten up this primary drive servo.
That's the third primary drive breakdown this month. As far as I'm concerned, the phase out on these older models can't come soon enough.
Oh, I don't know. Most of them have lasted long past their projected lifespans. If you ask me, they were built pretty well.
I can't argue with that. Even so, I'm ready to see the full Gen 3 roll out.
There we go. All set. Unit, you can return to duty.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks again.
Of course.
It's my responsibility to make sure this place runs smoothly.
We're all looking forward to working with you.
Doc.
They weren't kidding. You really are here. Well, all right. I'm Allie Fillmore. You can think of me as the Institute's chief engineer. When Father told us about you, I could hardly believe it. You've been through so much, I think most people would have just given up. If you don't mind my asking, what was it that kept you going all that time?
I just wanted to find my son and keep him safe.
Now that you've found him, I hope you're proud of the great man he grew up to be. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of the Facilities Division, and then I'll answer any questions you might have afterward. As you might guess, we keep the Institute's mechanical and electrical systems running smoothly. We maintain and upgrade all of the systems that make it possible to live and work in a place like this. There's a lot of machinery behind these walls that recycles the air and water and provides power to the laboratories and quarters. The work we do might not be as exciting as some of the other departments, but it's at least as important. So, now that you're here and you've spoken to Father, does that mean you're on board?
On board with what?
The Institute, of course. Sean implied you operated on a level, if not equal, then at least similar to the rest of us. Curious. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the Facilities Division, I'm happy to discuss it.
Who built this place, originally? Has it been here long?
The construction of the Institute is the work of generations of scientists. The original survivors of the war, our progenitors, took refuge in the basement of the old Commonwealth Institute of Technology. Over time, their sons and daughters dug deeper into the earth and built increasingly sophisticated habitats and laboratories. It's a process that's still going on today. Even now, we're digging out tunnels for new facilities and infrastructure. Just think what this place will look like 100 years from now. I hope I'm there to see it.
Hey!
What's on your mind?
I'd like to know about the people in your division.
Of course. Dr. Lawrence Higgs is our mechanical engineer. He oversees the major life support and security systems. Power distribution is Dr. Evan Watson's area of expertise, and Dr. Newton Oberly is in charge of food and housing. He coordinates with bioscience to ensure that our meals are balanced for optimal nutrition. We also make use of a number of synth units for low-priority maintenance and labor.
Hey, nezdrhaj!
It must be a challenge to meet the power demands of a place like this.
Absolutely. We scratch and scrape for every precious ounce of voltage that we can. Over the years, we've learned a few tricks that help supplement our power budget. When necessary, we can tap into select sources on the surface. We take only what we need, of course.
Of course.
Advanced Systems is always working on new solutions to generate more energy. It's a good thing, too, because the demand is always increasing. You don't even want to know what a single use of the molecular dematerializer consumes.
Približne 28 elektriny z fúzneho reaktora, čo sme minule postavili, teda postavil som to za kameru a použili.
Greetings.
Nazdar.
As the Institute's requisition vendor, I can provide supplies for your missions on the surface. How may I assist you today?
Tak, ukáž.
Sure, let's take a look.
Čo tu máme? Pozrite na to. Mikina inštitútu. Oblek do čistého prostredia. No nie, je to lepšie ako to, čo máme. Ale počkaj, pretu. Nemám veľa peňazí, čo? Dobre, pre tú srandu, dajte mi. Dobre. Ďuk. Ďakujem, kamo. Pre tú srandu, ukážte. Výstroj. Aha. Som zabudol. No, len my to potrebujeme, aby sme mali toto. Hej, potrebujeme to. Mariňácky neopren pre každý prípad, hej. To mám najradšej. Tak, trošku sme to tu spoznali. Pozrite na tých.
Glad you made it.
Ja vám dám, viete, čo to dalo roboty?
It's an honor to have you here, sir.
Syntetik 3. generácie. Tak sa poďme pozrieť.
Authorized personnel only.
So Dr. Ayo thinks he can hide in his office, does he? Well, you can tell him that I intend to speak to Father about these unannounced security sweeps of yours. Ransacking my quarters in the middle of the night is totally unacceptable.
I'll pass along your message, Doctor.
See that you do.
Doctor,
Welcome. Welcome. It is so good to meet you. I truly hope you'll come to think of the Institute as your home.
What do you do here?
Oh, I'm in charge of housing and provisions. It's my mission to ensure that everyone lives a comfortable and productive life. You should know that many of us consider it a great honor to have you here.
Newton.
People on the surface have got it pretty bad. Makes me thankful for being down here.
Akože až také zlé to tam nie je, chlapíku.
All systems nominal.
Ešte by si dovolil niečo povedať. Vieš, koľko som zabil tvojich bratov? Keď na mňa útočili?
Seriously thinking of heading over to robotics to knock some heads together.
Dr. Watson can be a little obsessive when it comes to rules and policies.
Nebo ja ho pošlem takam.
Send a message.
Please don't. There's enough friction as it is between us and pretty much all the other departments.
You going soft on me, Alana? My methods get results, and they will this time as well. You'll see.
Like any machine, a synth can malfunction. Just wish it didn't happen so often.
If the robotics division was a little more
I
careful,
swear I spend half my time smoothing the feathers that Justin ruffles. We need to be able to collaborate with the other divisions, and that's a lot harder when they're always angry
A
at us.
čuduješ sa, ste ochranka.
Yeah, well, if you can't get along, it's going to be hard to accomplish anything.
Yeah, even worse, we got a lot of smart guys with fragile egos. Anyway, we'll figure it out. It was good to meet you.
Vy to vyriešite.
Honor to meet you, sir.
Ale nazdar, ty lovec.
Hey, Doc.
So, here you are. Justin Ayo, Acting Director of the Synth Retention Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you.
Oh.
Despite your relation to Father, you're a bit of an unknown quantity. I'm sure you understand. There won't be any issues, will there?
Why? Don't you trust me?
I'll be honest. You're an outsider. The first outsider to be allowed access to the Institute in quite a long time, in fact. There's little precedent for this situation, so it's only natural to take extra precautions, It's nothing personal, I assure you. Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview of the Synth Retention Bureau. Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population on the surface.
So basically, you're the secret police.
Secret police? That's a pre-war reference, and I'm afraid it's lost on me. The main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless. But I gather you know all this, since you've encountered one already. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
I'm no stranger to combat.
Even so, a Courser should be more than a match for any single combatant.
Čo tým naznačuješ?
Ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production run.
Hele, zase sa spamätaj.
Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to work.
If you're the acting head of the SRB, who are you filling in for?
Dr. Zimmer holds that position. He's supervising the retrieval of some of the more high-profile units. In his absence, I keep things running smoothly.
Dr. Ayo.
What do you want? And please, make it quick.
Hele, trošku úcty.
You mentioned that coursers undergo special training. Tell me more about it.
The SRB constantly monitors our Gen 3 synth population, looking for specific traits. Those who show tenacity, fearlessness, and independence undergo a rigorous training regimen. We teach them armed and unarmed combat, investigative techniques, psychology, and mechanical skills. Those who pass a final evaluation become coursers. The rest have their memories wiped and return to their former duties.
Justin.
Yes, what is it?
Opakuj
I'd
sa.
like to know more about the synth reclamation process.
Fine. Once a courser has located a rogue synth, it uses that synth's recall code to wipe its memories and render it inert. We then begin the delicate process of restoring the neural pathways to their original configuration. In those cases where the procedure is successful, the synth returns to duty with no memory of its time on the surface. All too often, we're unable to repair the damage and are forced to dispose of the unit entirely.
Výborne.
Dr. Orman's lecture on cold fusion was nothing short of a revelation.
Všetci.
Theoretical limits are made to be broken.
Aj.
Anything suspicious to the SRB?
Nebudem ti nič hlásiť. Tajná polícia. Pozrite na tie zariadenia. Terminál SRB.
If you see any suspicious synth activity, report it immediately.
Ne, nič ti nenahlásim. Čo by som mal ešte nahlásiť? Akadiu? Nechajte žiť tých, ktorí chcú byť slobodní. Šmária.
Subject identified.
No, daj pokoj. No, pozrite, už aj tu je tma. Tak sa poďme pozrieť. Počkať, nie, pokročilé systém.
We'll start the next trial then. The dosage will be much larger this time, and the side effects will likely be more pronounced.
Will there be any pain?
I honestly don't know. I suppose it's your job to find out. Now hold still.
Čo to tu máme? Zdravotné lôžko. Takže miestny lekár hlavne.
You can return to your duties and remember to record every symptom you experience in detail.
I hope I'll prove a useful test subject for you, Doctor.
All this advanced technology and we still can't cure the common cold.
Hi.
Once you've settled in, I'll want to do a physical and get a file going on you. No hurry though.
After what I've been through, a checkup is probably a good idea.
I should think so. Who knows what you might have been exposed to?
Mutantom, nájazdníkom, mutovaným psom, bla bla bla.
You come see me if you need to get patched up. We'll do that checkup when you're good and ready. Take care of yourself, so I don't have to.
Toto si múdry.
Take good care of yourself, and you won't have to see too much of me.
I wish you could have known Father as we have.
I can't express how truly humbling it is to stand in your presence.
Isté.
Is it true Food Supplement 77 has been discontinued?
That is correct.
Prestali vyrábať 77. Pomoc! Konec sveta. Dobre. Bioveda. Ozaj, nemáme tu niečo... Kde má ozaj pán Virgil toto sérum? To bude asi bioveda, hovoril niečo o biovede, že? Chcel by som v tejto epizóde prejsť si celý inštitút, asi to bude dlhšia epizóda, je to... No, aby sme tú nudu mali kvázi za nami. Nie je to nuda podľa mňa, ale... Stále lepšie ako sa tu trápi, nie? Oni to majú gorilu. Isté. To by malo byť ono. Na to sa o tom pozrieme. Aha, to tam nesmeruje. Ale potrebujeme to sérum pre neho. Pozrite na to. Má pravdu.
That's a question best left to our colleagues in the robotics division.
Yes, well... I suppose you're right. Director Holdren seems very taken with you.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Yes, I'm sure that whatever you have to say is very interesting, but now simply isn't a good time.
Working on something important?
All of my work is important. Now, if you're quite finished, I'd very much like to get back to these mental equations. They're difficult enough without the distractions.
Okie doke. I'll let you get back to work then.
Good.
Lapík jeden namyslený.
This must be a little overwhelming for you.
It's great to have you here.
Hi, Doc.
Welcome. So good to have you here.
Isté.
Dr. Clayton Holdren, head of the Bioscience Division. I can't wait for you to see the work we're doing. It's truly amazing.
Like what?
I was just about to explain that. As the name implies, the Bioscience Division specializes in fields of studies such as botany, genetics, and medicine. Our most important directive is to ensure the health and well-being of everyone in the Institute. To that end, we cultivate highly specialized breeds of flora for use in food and medicine. We've even started to explore the idea of synthetic animal life. You probably saw the gorillas. They're really just a pet project at this point, but the potential is exciting nonetheless.
Seems like there's nothing you guys can't do.
With hard work and ingenuity, any challenge can be overcome. I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as it is. But I have to ask, have you decided whether you'll join us?
I'm an outsider. Would there even be a place for me here?
Even if science isn't your passion, there are plenty of ways to contribute. Our projects sometimes require an agent who can work on the surface to observe and gather information. From what I've heard, you are both fearless and resourceful. I think you'd be ideal for that kind of role. In any case, I imagine you'll want to continue looking around. Or, if you prefer, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
You mentioned medical care. I might need that from time to time.
In that case, you'll want to introduce yourself to Dr. D. He's our top biologist. Dr. Volkert works in the... You won't find better medical care any...
Dr. Holdren.
Anything I can help.
Akože je to lepšie ako ten lekár v Diamond City, ktorý tam rezal ľudí, že?
On the whole, I'd say they were a success. Their behavior does generally match what our historical data says it should be. Unfortunately, we had a few early... They destroyed 2 of their synth...
Aha.
Clayton.
Good to see you again. Did you need something?
Is there anything I can do to help out?
There might be. Tell you what, you get settled in and check back with me later. I'll see what I can find out.
Ešte. Som velice rád, že tento je aspoň taký viac otvorený. Teraz by som sa veľmi rád dostal sem.
Got it.
Výborne, na prvý pokus. Dobre, deaktivovať. Lebo si myslíte, že ma zastavíte? To je vlastná oblasť. Ani neviem, či som sem niekedy vliezol. Lebo k tomu Virgilovi nemusíte ísť, tak sa poďme pozrieť. Ja už vidím, prečo je to veselá oblasť. No. Stanice, aplikátor. Pozrite na to, supermutanti. Aha. Tak sa pozrieme. Hej! Už vidím, kam som to vliezol. Páči sa mi, že to tu vôbec oni neopratovali, ale... To je také zbytočné miestečko tu, nie? To teda zrušíme. Tlačenica. Doslova. Nie. Len mi nehovorte. Anhililátor. Kde to je? Dúfam, že to sérum je niekde tu. Lebo ak tu nie je to sérum, tak vám poviem, inštitút ma sklamal. Aha. Predpokladám, že tu... 7 vláseniek, no. Haló? Je to... Bunsenuf? To je niečo vedecké, že? Bunsenuf Kahan. To... Vie niekto, kde to tu je? Farba, všetko možné. Dobre, tu nič nie je. Tu teda zamknuté dvere. No, logicky to musí byť niekde tu. Ajaj. Tak. Je to sérum. Zničený synth, to je veselé. Wow. Čo sa tu pre Boha stalo? Akože, fakt to tu nikto neupratoval.
Yes.
Kam som teraz skočil? Aha. Haló? Kde som práve? Som v nejakej zadnej miestnosti inštitútu.
Nice.
Safra som. Jaj, to bude ono, že? Experimentálne sérum, rovno tady, ja blbec. Aj, dobre. Aspoň sme to celé preskúmali, zabezpečili, už tam nehrozí žiadne nebezpečenstvo. Teraz nám zostáva, kam musíme ísť ešte na posledné oddelenie, za doktorkou Lee. Pokročilé systémy. Tak sa ukážte. Už budeme mať čoskoro koniec. Len tuto... Tu niekto strieľa.
Safety first. Nothing. Remember that. At this point, she's just doing it for fun.
Doc.
Since you're new here, you should take time to learn our safety procedures. And the sooner the better. Rules create order.
How many rules are we talking?
Not nearly enough, if you ask me. I had some topics made up, but that was years ago.
How big is...
Just a few thousand pages, but I like to think it's a brisk read. I certainly find it so. Take care, then.
Evan.
Rushed work is sloppy at best, and deadly at worst.
If you ask me, we're only scratching the surface with the latest synths.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Oh, hi there. Sorry if I seem distracted. I memorized 5 sets of design schematics.
That's amazing.
Oh, well, a lot of us do that. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. I just wanted to say how much I admire Father, and that it's an honor to meet you. I really hope you'll stay here with us.
Pozrite na nich. Kúžne články. Toto máme. Beriem. A vezmem aj náboje. A čo máte zase? Ale dobre. Poďte.
Dr. Watson.
To je hentam.
In case anyone didn't mention it, quiet time runs from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Ale ešte. A čo akože mám tu počkať, kým všetci budete spokojní? Dobre, ja si počkam, aby si nebol, aby si sa nerozčuloval. Ako keby nebolo dôležité, že za to nemôžem, keď som prišiel do inštitútu, že? Dobre. Sú tu aj tí ďalší doktori? Vidím, že doktorka hlavná tu zostala. Tak sa poďme zoznámiť. Hej!
Excuse me, doctor?
Ah, it's you. You're here then. Yes, I know who you are. We all do. While I'm sure Father is very happy that you're here, I do hope it doesn't interrupt our work.
What is it you're working on?
Advanced systems, special projects. You've seen the boy, Synth, already. We've been hard at work on him for quite a while now. Oh, before I forget, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out of the Institute at will.
Thank you. I'm sure that'll come in handy.
Given that the relay is the only way to access the Institute, handy is something of an understatement. In case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the only one here with that kind of access. If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of trust Father has placed in you. Now, unless there's something else, I really do need to get back to work.
Is everything okay, Dr. Lee? You seem pretty tense.
Yes, things are... It's fine. I'm sorry, I don't socialize much. I prefer to focus on my work.
Dr. Lee. Tell me about the people in your division.
I'm not sure what there is to say. Dr. Watson is the Specialist Project's lead scientist. He's, how to put it, very organized and precise. Dr. Ormond is one of the youngest scientists in the Institute, and she's something of a prodigy when it comes to physics.
Dr. Lee, I'd like a progress report on your division, if you don't mind.
Taking your new appointment in stride, I see. Very well. We've shifted resources off of other projects, like the child synth, to focus on Phase 3. I'm hoping that the above-ground efforts are successful. I understand those depend heavily on you.
No dobre, kto za nepozná túto postavu, tak ona bola aj vo Fallout 3. To sme sa len nedozvedeli, že si prišla z povrchu, že?
Sleep is such a waste of time. I'd rather be designing more efficient plasma.
No tak rob si, čo ty chceš, že ja pôjdem spať. Ona nech si robí emitory a rozhodnem, ako s nimi naložiť a popri tom sa vyspinkám. Mne to je úplne jedno, pani doktorka. Spať budete, potrebujete to pre normálne fungovanie mozgu. Alebo aj ten vám máme vyoperovať? To je... Akože, títo ľudia tu fakt zabudli, čo to je na povrchu. No dobre. Myslím si, že sme vykonali tú najdôležitejšiu pasáž z tohto. Čo je tu?
Synth unit. You were scheduled for maintenance duty in SRB.
Ale ne, tajná polícia maka. Dokonca to SRB aj tak znie.
Are you going to tell me about this mysterious Phase 3?
No, I can't talk about that.
I can't imagine living on the surface. It sounds like a nightmare.
Ale ešte. Vám sa nič nezdá. Nie je to až také zlé, keď sa zabývate a hlavne získate dobrý baráčik na bývanie. Dobre. Poďme ešte za našim chlapikom, za našim synáčkom. Teba stále nezapol. No, môžem nejako tie dvere aj zatvoriť. Musia byť otvorené tie dvere. No, nevadí. No, pozrite na to jeho bývaníčko. No čo, chlapíku? Co pak?
Now that you've had a chance to see the Institute firsthand, what do you think?
You've got technology here that I never dreamed possible. It's amazing.
I'm glad you can appreciate what we've accomplished. None of it has been easy. Ultimately, all our knowledge and resources are focused on a single goal. The goal is best summarized by our motto: mankind redefined. Unfortunately, no advancement comes without occasional setbacks. As remarkable as our synths are, they can be dangerous without proper supervision. The superior synth mind and body attempting to wrestle with something approaching free will can be a recipe for chaos.
If the synths are intelligent and self-aware, then they have a right to free will.
However closely they may approximate human behavior.
No veď práve, preto by sme nemali byť bohmi.
Our creations. When you see what I have to show you, I think you'll agree that we know what is best.
Naozaj to viete? Tvárite sa ako prísni rodičia.
His memories have been erased and his identity altered. He believes he's a man named Gabriel. Under his leadership, the Raiders have taken many innocent lives. I've dispatched a courser to Libertalia. I'd like you to join him and reclaim that synth.
Who erased his memories? And why?
Those idealistic radicals who call themselves the Railroad are behind it. We'll deal with them in time. But right now, the priority is to reclaim that synth before more harm is done. Now you should get moving. Many people are in danger, and a delay could cost lives.
Takže máme doslova úlohu na povrchu.
Son.
The sooner that synth is safely back in the Institute, the better for everyone.
Ale ešte... Teraz otázočka, ako môžeme opustiť inštitút? Aha, Libertália, no ja som to tam už kedysi vyčistil, keď som skúmal oblasti. Tak. Ja môžem iba takto teleportovať sa, vlastne som zabudol. No, kde je ten veľký protivá? Pán Virgil, splním svoju dohodu.
Well, I'm
glad to see the relay didn't completely vaporize you.
The interceptor worked. It was rough, but it worked.
Amazing. And what about the serum? Did you find the serum?
Got it right here.
That's it. That's really it. All right. Let's see. Let's see.
What the hell aroma is that?
Retrovirus has matured nicely. Density gradient is high. Recombinant counter-intron sequences look stable.
Kým bude pokračovať, som si uvedomil, že dajme si naspäť helmu.
Transcriptive exon strands have formed.
How are you going to test it?
On myself, of course. That was the plan. This serum will only counteract the specific strain of FEV that I infected myself with. There's no telling what it might do to anyone else. All right. Here we go. No. We wait.
How long will it take?
I don't know. Nothing like this has ever been tried before. I'm going to rest for a while. I'm back in a few days, maybe a week, and... well, I guess we'll see. In any event, you kept your end of our bargain. Thank you.
No, dobre. Tak uvidíme, či to nejako mu pomôže. Sturži, kde si ešte ty? Kým čo urobíte s mojimi zbrojami?
Sure, we can gab for a bit.
Here's that holotape you gave me. Full of institute data. I hope.
Well, all right. I'll start digging into this and see if I can make heads or tails of it.
The institute isn't our enemy, remember.
I know, but it never hurts to be prepared.
To je pravda.
They decide the Commonwealth isn't big enough for the both of us. All the good stuff on here is going to be encrypted. So the first job is to see if I can crack it. After that, well, I'll have to see what I've got. There's no telling what we might have grabbed off their mainframe.
Každopádne máme pár informácií, čo? No jo, ľudia, tým sme teda dokončili. Densovi sa to Komu sa čo protiví? Densiku. Dobre ľudia, dokončili sme teda obrovský quest. Naskôr som to dal do jednej dlhšej epizódy, lebo no to kecanie, tam je trošku otrava. To znamená, že máme teda 3 možné príbehové linky. Môžeme ísť na bratstvo, môžeme ísť na železnicu, alebo pokračovať v inštitúte. Každopádne, na túto epizódu to bude všetko a ja premýšľam, že by sme teraz rozbehli posledné veľké DLCčko Nuka World. Ale to si ešte rozmyslím, ďakujem za sledovanie, prajem príjemný deň, príjemné hranie, ďakujem členom za krásnu podporu, majte sa!